In this video, I'm going to demonstrate proper workflow techniques and frequency separation. As a general rule for editing, it is to address the biggest problem of the image first. A workflow is a set of rules that you create when processing an image in Photoshop or Lightroom. If you don't have a workflow, you need to develop your own. It will help you create a strategy on your own to attack an image from point A to point B. Frequency separation or split frequency is a process of creating or splitting an image into a color and texture layers. Usually the bottom layer is a low frequency details that is a blurred version of the image, and above is a high frequency layer that holds all the texture details of the image. Right now I need to white balance this image because she looks a little orange, and since the whitest part is her eye, I'm going to use that as my basis to get a proper white balance reading.
And make you feel like cheating. I'm like, no, not really, cause I think that I found myself a cheerleader.
In Photoshop, I have a predefined workflow that I design, and I have several Photoshop actions as you can see here, and my first action is always my cleanup action, where it creates a smart object and it creates a transparent layer for editing the image, which I will use the healing tool and the clone brush on a consistent basis. And the reason why I use a transparent layer, it uses less memory and it's more efficient in editing the skin. In the detail that I do during that edit, I will show you in a moment. Now you notice my transparent layer. And usually before I even start editing the skin in any way, I do a whole view of how our skin is, meaning I check to see all of the birthmarks, the pimples, the skin lesions, or whatever I have to go after. And sometimes, depending on the type of skin it is, or if it's a client or something I'm doing personally, I would create another layer just to mark the areas of focus that I need to work on, or a layer of attack, so to speak.
All you feel, do you wanna refill, or do you just wanna stay right here while the DJ's playing our favorite song? One by one, I'm feeling your heartbeat pulling me closer, closer. One by one, with every touch I'm feeling it.
This layer, this is a temporary layer. All I'm doing is marking my areas of attack, where I have to, the parts of the skin that I will focus on to clean up. Flyaway on the skin, lines, indentations, pimples, any defect of the skin that I deem not necessary, I mark this for a process of removal.
Love you to my heart, love you to my soul. Delilah, I thought you were for real, but you're playing a role. Delilah, lying to me, that is all you do. Fancy cars and superstars.
Now that I'm satisfied I have everything marked, I usually turn off this layer This is layers only used for a reference point to make sure I remove everything that I've marked on the skin, and that's my focus to attack, is all those points that I've marked. For the transparent layer, I use 3 primary tools: clone tool, healing brush, and spot healing. I primarily use spot healing in CS5 because it has content aware, and I use healing brush for certain areas of the skin where it's needed. The clone tool is usually, I use a clone tool when it comes to the eyebrows on the edges of skin that I need that control. I use a cloning tool. Now, whatever tool you use, you gotta make sure that you select current and below layers. What that does is that it reads the below layer for the current layer you're working on, which is your transparent layer. That is very important because it won't work without current and below being turned on. Now, this is more or less a boring process. It's very involved. This process, depending on the client's skin, can take anywhere from about 10 to 20 minutes to maybe an hour, or maybe even over 2 hours. But it's good practice to make sure you do as much as possible on this transparent layer. It makes the rest of your work continuing on much easier. And I'm gonna fast forward on this because it takes a while.
The love I got for you makes me happy.
Love makes me happy so.
And only God knows what I'm saying.
Woman, they make you know what I feel.
The universe smiles when we're together.
Only me and you.
Oh baby, cause
you
feel good.
Listen, baby. Woman, you got me love. Woman, you got me love. I love your real ragamuffin. I love your real rubber dub. What make you drop the inhibition? Start caress me on and draw a little heart on the purple sun. And then you told me how me make you feel like the one. We dance so deep, so new love fun. Me say, crucial.
You make me feel good.
Oh, what's a bam bam bam.
You make my heart so happy.
Woman, you make my heart skip a beat.
Beautiful island in the sun, never lonely.
A real Jamaican love.
You got my heart and my soul.
You see?
And I want you to know.
Oh yeah. Tell them.
Love. When you truly love somebody, you gotta let it show. 'Cause that's the only way they can know. It's when you truly love somebody, you want the love to grow. You gotta nurture and water it like any seed you sow. Show how much you care and always be there. A shoulder to lean on in times of despair. Show how you appreciate and never underrate the simple things that make a relationship great. It's when you truly love somebody, you gotta let it show. 'Cause that's the only way they can know. When you show you love somebody and you want the love to grow, you gotta nurture it and water it like any seed you sow.
I see there ain't no way, you cannot take it away, you cannot take it away from
cleanup of the skin, I'm going to start the frequency separation portion of this tutorial. And yes, of course, I have this created as an action. Makes my life so much easier.
What you want me to be? Take my property, take what all that I got. My house and my land straight to my iPad. Still I'm a riches to me in a poor man. The only thing what left is my conviction. It now make out a stone, it now make out a wood. You're never gonna own it like a material good. Can't take when my money, take away my credit card, but you can't take your love out of me heart. You can't take when my DVD notebook and sell it out, but you cannot take your love out of me heart. You can't take when my new clothes, my shades and my car, but you can't take your love out of me heart. When they gonna find out?
Now you can see I have my split frequency layers, and you notice that I have in between the high and the low frequency layer, I have a light and a dark layer. Now usually at some edits I would have maybe another layer in between that I call a normal layer, but for the process of this demonstration I will show you light and dark. Light layer is just a container for all the light parts of the skin detail, and the dark layer is for all the dark shades of skin that I'll be working on in the process of this demonstration. Now when editing the skin with a paintbrush, with either layers in between the high and low frequency layers, you use a flow on your paintbrush from 2 to 6%. I usually stick at 3% throughout all the images I've done. I rarely ever have to go higher. And you do this to control the flow of the paintbrush, where you can keep the consistency and paint on the skin at a gradual manner to keep that natural texture of the skin coming through. Now if you paint too heavily, you're going to see a discoloration of the skin, and what you want to do is keep everything consistent throughout the image. I'm working on the transparent layers, and your paintbrush should be at 2 to 6% flow, and my process I always keep it at 3, and that works for me. Now your paintbrush, I always put the brush all the way down feathered, and I make the brush really big because I want to have that feathering all on the side. The center will always be, of course, the strongest flow, and you gradually paint over the skin on a consistent basis until you change the discoloration of the skin of the section you're painting on. And the reason for painting on gradually is to keep that consistent tone, and the detail of the skin will survive.
I'm a soldier with love and never abuse it, yeah.
I'm here with your music, we want to play on you. Bang bang, bang bang, bang.
Easy selector.
String up a big sound, you're on the corner.
Do good in life and God bless you twice. I am a love, make we share this time. Mr. Me love the fresh mango outside Tiger Yard. Have a lot of love to give, knowing life is hard. Me see him as a virgin right from the start. On the buckle feel of life, he carry love in him heart. One day life will be better, good things in life I will always treasure. To be ungrateful, I will never. Some of them are gold digger, it's a rocky road. I haven't loved the good things in life. No, it's a rocky road. I haven't loved the way man survive. No, it's a rocky road. I haven't loved the unity. So they fade away, going down slowly. I'm telling you my brother's story. Don't live for yourself, don't you be selfish. To help another brother, that my wish. To give a little food in a dish, to put a little food in a dish, eh. From it's a rocky road, a heavy load, no good things in life. No, it's a rocky road, a heavy load, where man survive. It's a rocky road, a heavy load, good things in life. No, it's a rocky road, a heavy load, yeah.
Me now have no money. As you ask me, you think me for running, and you all laugh like you think ain't funny. Me not even wake, man. Give me a break, man. Me now have no money. As you ask me, you think me for running, and you all laugh like you think ain't funny. Look how much you owe me. It better you love me, love me, love me, love me. Why you think say your problems bigger than for me? Me never see you yet, and you have nothing to give me. And every time me ask what you are deal with, I just nothing I go on, you see me. Me can't afford to give you every time. Cause right you know me don't have a dime. The time you sit down on the corner lurks, just want to look at work. Me not have no money. As you ask me, you think me for running, and you all laugh like you think ain't funny.
Okay, now I'm finished with the split frequency part of the image. Now I'm gonna do a local dodge and burn. What this local dodge and burn is primarily used for, or what I use it for, is 50% gray. And of course I use my actions to create this 50% gray layer. And what I do with this, now with frequency separation, it flattens the skin. There's no way around it. This is what is going to happen, and this is a process of bringing the shadows back into the skin layer. So like for instance, where I color corrected the side of her face, her cheekbone is no longer there. Now some people don't realize this, but it's missing. And during this process with the local dodge and burn, you're gonna see that the image turns to black and white. That's just a helper layer, and this helper layer would help me see all the shadows and the highlights that I need to look at and augment depending on the look I want. Now to achieve this, I turn everything off except the base layer, because I want to see the original image while I'm doing my local dodge and burn. Then when I turn off all the layers, I'll go back to my local dodge and burn layer. Using the paint tool, I will transition between white and black colors, and white is of course for lighten and dark is for darken. So I'm darkening the side of her face now, and I'm adding back that dimension and that shadow where it's needed. And I usually will go over the entire image, and this is just to lighten and darken the really big spots. So I might brighten part of her forehead because it needs a little bit more. I would darken the parts of her arm, her shoulder, her chin, her nose, just to bring back some of that dimension that I took away during the frequency separation portion of this video.
Dream and I go in the years together.
at radio and a popcorn representing DJ Miska and Shatterpod. You know, one time in Europe, I just listen to you all. You know, man, Kingston at radio.de. Tell some boy down premium. Hey, Shatterpod.
This is David Rodigan, and you're listening to Sentinel's Kingston Hot Radio.
People, we have to live it today. Cannot know we're not sure about tomorrow. The only thing we know for sure, I said we day I know no put it on hold. One live life, the money and the cars and the fame. Now if it come none at all, so you should
just a blank transparent layer that's it's in linear mode. All I do is paint white into the iris of the eye, and that way I bring out the natural color of her eye and pop the highlights a little bit. And I like to do this process because it's very easy to do. It's simple. It doesn't give too much of an unnatural feel to what I'm doing. And if I do too much, guess what? All I have to do is set the opacity on the transparent layer to bring the tone back down just a little bit. And this is just to taste. You can make it as bright as you want or as dark as you want.
What still a fi bubble yet? What still a fi bubble? What still a fi bubble yet? What still a fi bubble? Things get rougher every day. What still a fi bubble? Nothing open for we pay. What still a fi? What still a fi bubble yet? What still a fi bubble? What still a fi bubble yet? What still a fi bubble? We see everything I feel. What still a fi bubble? I keep up on them a real. What still a fi? Good and rain or shine, peace, time or crime. Still a 30 street cause food a fi eat. I got my family to feed and they want me to proceed. It looks like a potato ends of it. Me but though we can't manage the cost of living up. 4 days they start off life and we no got enough. So anyway the food that we a go find it. And we no care where society a hide it. We tell them what still a fi bubble yet. What still a fi bubble. What still a fi bubble yet. What still a fi bubble. Things get rougher every day. What still a fi bubble. No see nothing when we pay. What still a fi? What still a fi bubble yet. What still a fi bubble. What still a fi bubble yet. What still a fi bubble. We see everything I feel. What still a fi bubble. I kick up on them a real. What still a fi?
It's so insane. Representing for Kingston at the body show, the money show. Yes, I'm crying to the nation. Crying to the nation. Oh God, I'm bawling to the nation. Yes, I'm crying to the nation.
This section I'm gonna do. It's called a lip gloss. It heightens the contrast of the lips, and it brings the brightness of certain parts of the lip up. And what I'm doing here with the curves tool is I'm changing the image to suit how I want the lips to look like. Once I've done that, I click OK, and from there I make a few other adjustments to my taste. And when the action is finished, it's gonna create a mask for you, and in that mask all you do is paint over the lips to bring the effect out. Once the effect is to your liking, you can always change the opacity of the top layer, which is either the group, it's the group layer. You could change the opacity to reduce the effect of your changes to suit your needs of the look.
I'm crying to the nation of this earth. Listen, killing to the snouts and the eastworms. So I know if I got them to say, I'm from a God to say, what type of God you answer?
That I make them wither away. Because you know they ain't a match for me. And when I say a fire a day, chase them away. Evil heart can't stay. God, them a wicked heart. Them have too much evil thought. But that I will guide my body, and I'm calling on me. I said, put your trust in Jah. Jah will will never make your heart break. I will never hurt your feelings. Love without pretense. I say put your trust in Jah. Jah heal, never make your heart break. I will never hurt your feelings. Love without pretense. Never go eat on the judgment day. Them I can pay for the ways them stay. Can't wait the day when wicked heart shall fade away, fade away. Well, I'm protected by just none of them cannot.
This is the last layer. This is the last action I have in this demonstration. This is my sharpening action. This is an action I found online and I modified to suit my needs. It works very well. It makes 4 different sharpening levels. The highest level, I usually use the highest level for the eyes and the hair and certain other parts of the skin. Now this changes from image to image to image, so depending on the image, this changes consistently. It's never the same. So I usually have a mask on the highest sharpening layer, and I usually use a medium layer for the skin or the lower one, depending on the type of image it is and how sharp the original image was in the first place. Now this is always the very last thing you do, and you will see the difference when you sharpen an image more or less correctly.
Tribulation in the ghetto is a must. Never qualify for no housing trust. Come lose all of my money in a cash box. But me know say me a born Jamaican. Me dey from slavery as a African. Somebody tell me where my talent come from. We own so much land in our island. Tell me this a gin, go back to Japan. Cause Jamaica feed the black man. From Moran Pine to the Grill Pine. From St. Thomas to Westmoreland. Oh, Miss Babylon, where you get the system you're from? Bulldozer don't poor people and John no say me nah vote again, no sir. The MP don't give a damn.
Within this group, I usually will create a transparent layer to do my last corrections that I may have missed during the cleanup and high frequency editing. The thing with sharpening, it brings up issues you may have missed, or it made it more prominent to your image. So usually I just make a new custom layer and do the same process of healing, cloning, and spot healing on certain areas. It really doesn't take long, maybe 10 minutes or so, maybe less, sometimes longer, depending on how lazy I was at the cleanup portion of the layer. And all I'm doing here is correcting a little part of the lips and some other pimples that I see come up. Me love it when you lean on me. Me don't want you to leave that me a pray. But when you say it's alright, it's okay. Baby, you make my day. Girls from east and west and north and south. That's how my life go. Girl, me never know, say me coulda love someone. So me have to make you know. All of a sudden me fall in love with you. All of a sudden me fall in love with you.
I ain't giving up on my baby. I ain't giving up on my man. I ain't giving up on my baby, even though he's not something else. I ain't giving up on my baby. I ain't giving up on my man. I ain't giving up on you, baby. Yeah, people be talking this, people be talking bad, but I don't give a damn, cause baby boy, I got your back. What them did there when we are us and at the streets, sleepless night, we are looking just for finding food for eat, huh? No, you a chop it, me a rap it, you a sack it, me a sash it. Whenever you want it, me got it, me need it, you copy, tell them not try stop it. Ride or die for my man, who will clap it, yeah.
First of all, I thank those who were listening, and I hope you learned something. at the end of this process, I usually do a few tweaks in Lightroom, but I'm going to show you the tremendous difference between the original image versus the edited image. And you're going to see a tremendous difference between the left hand side is the edited image and the right hand side is the untouched, unedited raw image. Usually I would go into more detail in the edit, meaning more control and time on the cleanup portion of it. But for the process of this demonstration, I just wanted to show you my workflow and how I come from point A to point B. Whatever you do in between, that's your process, but this is mine, and I hope you learn something from it.
Though I know I need you more than you ever know, girl, I think it's time to let you go. Though I know I love you forevermore. Hey, I'm for you, but you're for you. You never love me like I do. Girl, you never had a clue. No way. She keeps telling me every night everything would be alright. Now she wanna walk out my life. You're gone away, so it's time to let you go. Though I know I need you more than you ever know, girl, I think it's time to let you go. Even though I love you forevermore.
I've been working all day and I this me I wait for. Pass me the blunt and the rolling paper. Me I could get high like a bird, high like a skyscraper. Me tell you this, Friday evening at this me I pray for. Pass me